We're doing the store tour today. Haven't done one in probably 6 months. A lot has changed. Management's changed. All kinds of things have changed. So yeah, I want to start with this goldfish tank. I'm actually going to replace this tank. No one knows this yet, but this tank right here, filled with goldfish. It sells goldfish really well, but this is the only tank pretty much in the store that's not on auto water change. So in my grand scheme of what we're going to do going forward, we're going to put a tank here that can auto water change and handle this load, because I know that this has to get manual water changed all the time to keep up with the amount of goldfish in there. Over here we've got Big Murph, and the dream has come alive when it comes to all of the pygmy chainsword. It is super dense, so much so that it kind of needs to be thinned out, and that'll be one of the goals here coming up this week, is providing some more room for Murphy. Probably cut it back to about halfway and just mow right through there, because yeah, he's a little cramped. He can go lay in it, but he chooses not to. So yeah, it is definitely growing in though, and I think it's cool. The background kind of looks like trees from this moss that naturally has taken over. So with a little bit of TLC, I think this thing will finally be doing what I want it to do. It's always going to be pushing the bounds of pushing forward and encroaching on Murphy, but good news is, we'll show you at the very end probably, so this tank right here is 360 gallons. Murphy's new tank will be 1,450 gallons, so massive in comparison to this. Also like 5 times the price in comparison to this, but he's going to feel much better. We were just waiting on getting a space, and we've got the space, so now we can expand the store. Jimmy's hiding in the bathroom.
Oh no.
All right, so let's take a look at some of the fish we have. So one of my favorite things to do now that I don't get to the store very often, I live roughly 40 minutes away. If I drive straight here, I get to see new things that I haven't seen. I've already seen one species of fish two species actually I've never seen. One we won't get to see, and that's this banded bushfish that hides in the dark right back there. It's underneath that clouded archer. And then there was a Corydora too, but you know, we'll start with kind of the normal tour because I feel like people haven't seen this for a very long time. Very cool underrated fish in here, by the way, the desert goby. I've bred these before. They actually breed in a little piece of PVC pipe. So like 1/2-inch PVC pipe, just normal PVC pipe, male and female, and they'll lay eggs on the inside and you'll make more. Now they're not the most colorful thing, but they are kind of a cool bottom dweller. I don't know, I'm always attracted to things that I can, you know, make more of and breed and sell at a store. I mean, that's what my MO used to be. Now it's just to enjoy them. But recently, you'll see some of the tanks will be a little bit cloudy, and you'll probably see some brine shrimp in there just because we fed brine shrimp right after we closed the doors. That's something I haven't shown on camera. I'll do that in the back. We'll go to the dirty back part of the store in the mad scientist lab. That's what we have back here. So we hatch brine shrimp in the Ziss brine shrimp hatchers. We've got 2 for evening and 1 for day. If we actually run into too much brine shrimp, we'll sell a little bit to a couple of people that ask for it, but mostly we have to hatch this much just to keep what we have going. And that really has changed, well, not changed, but brought back the livelihood of some of our really nano fish. So, all right, so we're back in the main part of the store again after I showed off the behind the scenes. And obviously we're going to have tanks filled with guppies, right? And we're going to have tanks filled with harlequin rasboras. But something like the simless Cory, those are pretty cool. People a lot of times will ask on prices on this kind of stuff. We've got these things at $13.99. One of the craziest parts for me opening the store over 8 years ago is something like that fish I used to sell at $6.99, and then it had to go to $7.99, and here we are at $13.99. You know, obviously, at the time of opening the store, employees were also making like $12. Now they make $22. So everything changes, but it's weird to go, yeah, those should be, where Gold Barb has not changed $1. That thing's been $3.49 my entire life. Underappreciated fish. The males get really nice kind of gold, yellow color. The females, not so much. It's also a fish that doesn't have to be heated. It can go kind of room temperature and actually pretty cool. A lot of Ember Tetras. We do use some advanced lighting that they don't sell anymore. I can't believe these haven't burnt out. because normally the stuff gets dropped into tanks and that kind of stuff here to store. While it does make them look extra good, they do look this good when they fully color up in someone's tank. So we get them and they're young and they're not quite that colorful, and then they will color up, but we don't have time to show that, and so we kind of have to cheat our way to that a little bit. Here we've got Betta Mahachaiensis that are being bred locally. So if they have a blue tag, that means they're being bred locally. And then we've got Hatchet fish up top, right up there.
Yeah,
and
probably
so,
Deans, I think.
Yeah, these might be Deans. Dean likes to breed a lot of way too much of what we can't sell. And what I mean by that is he'll be like, it's just one spawn. Like, yeah, we can sell 20. You spawned 100. So that kind of runs into a problem for us sometimes. This tank's a pretty fun tank. More Dean bred fish. These are leopard frog plecos. These I've basically added $100. I remember selling these at 65 bucks. And they've been going up every year I was buying them because I love this fish. They would go up and up and up, and here they are up even more. To me, this fish is every bit as cool as a zebra pleco. Different, both really cool, but I didn't see why one was $65 and one was $200. And now here we are going, zebra is kind of still $200, $225. Leopard frog plecos from $65 to $164.99. So they're definitely catching up, and I'm going to say in coolness. So here we've got gold rams. Cool thing about this tank, and maybe that's what I'm going to try and do, is show something cool of each tank, because we've done this tour 30 times. Like, there's a lot of tours you can watch, and there's been different spins on each one. My favorite fish, how the store is built, stories, all kinds of stuff. I've scared it off now, but this pit right here is actually where the fish is going to breed. So you can see she's coming back. She's going to hang out right there. Well, I guess I shouldn't say she because I haven't looked close enough to see. But, you know, these fish are ready to breed. They're locally bred, which is great. And that's what you're going to get from a locally bred fish a lot of times, is they're going to be just fed really, really well and ready to take home. You can see there's another nest right here, right in this corner. Someone who takes these fish home should be able to spawn them fairly quickly if they understand how to spawn rams, which we have a whole video on that too. Up here, we have Betta Rubra, also locally bred. Super cool. I was gonna say some stuff about them, but then I was just like, oh, they just look so cool. Oh yeah, I was looking for that one. That's the one that's super colored up.
Yeah.
In like breeding mode, who's hiding. You can't see him actually. That's, you know, he thinks that you can't see him. What I like about this is locally bred fish, I basically strong arm our breeders to keep them reasonable. And that's always a battle, because they'll go, well, another store is selling them for 2 to 3 times as much. And I go, well, how many are they selling? Are they actually helping the hobby? And there are times, especially with Dean, I say, look, if you want to sell them at that price, that's fine. I'll pay you what you need to pay you. And I think on the black rams at this point, like, we're only charging like $10 more than I pay or something. And like discus too. Yeah, digging the pit. This is why I keep fish, to watch this interaction happen of like, let's see how you dig a pit. Let's see how the other one digs a pit. It's just fun for me to watch. All these little dots, live brine shrimp. And then we've got neon green tetras down here, and they're gorging and getting fat bellies. And then we've got the green phantom pleco. That guy's gone up by about 20 bucks over the last 8 years or so. Not so bad. You know, there's definitely fish in my time where I felt were too cheap. And then there's fish that are I felt were too expensive. And so I think some stuff is catching up. You know, oh, it used to be expensive. Now it's like, yeah, it's probably appropriate. And then there's stuff that, like, wow, I never thought I'd see the day where X would cost that much. Like a threadfin rainbow. $12.99. I know at times when we were able to buy them on sale, we sold them as cheap as $2.49. And I know I've done videos in the past where people say all rainbows are at least $15 and up, even like dwarf neon blue rainbows. And I just think that's crazy. For $12.99, I would probably start picking out other fish at that price. Unless, I mean, there's people that love that fish, don't get me wrong, it's a cool fish. But instead of $12.99 there, I'd be buying orange flash apistos for $24.99. Get a pair of them, start breeding them. I know there's stuff that I saw where I was like, ooh, do I take that home? And I'm not taking any fish home today. I got to set up an aquarium. My goal is to take home supplies today, not fish.
Did you know that having air pumped into your tank can be beneficial for oxygenation and can also power your aquarium filtration? Hey everyone, I'm Zenzo from Aquarium Co-Op. I run almost all of my aquariums on sponge filters because they're inexpensive, they provide additional oxygen for my fish, and are excellent for filtration. Now there are many pumps on the market and most need to be plugged into an outlet to work, but when there's a power outage, they don't work. In fact, I had a power outage here a few months ago and was scrambling to get air to some of my tanks. That's where the Aquarium Co-op air pump comes in. Like most pumps, it operates by being plugged into a power source. The difference is that this pump can also run on battery power or on USB power from a battery power supply like a battery power bank. The lithium-ion battery in the Aquarium Co-op air pump is capable of running continuously for up to 6 hours and on the power save mode for up to 15 hours. The Aquarium Co-op air pump can supply air to up to 3 aquariums when paired with a gang valve, giving you peace of mind that your fish will be safe and be able to breathe during a power outage or any disruption in power supply. It can also make a great travel air pump if you're moving or need to take your fish on the road with you. Get your Aquarium Co-op air pump today at aquariumcoop.com.
Here we go. Here's the fish I hadn't seen before. This Corydora, amandajanea? How do you say that, Jimmy?
Amandajanea.
There you go. Yeah, sure. We'll call it that. I hadn't seen these guys before, and I gotta be honest, at 40 bucks, I would never buy these guys. They don't do it for me. I'm sure they're rare because I've never seen them before, and this is an item we bring into the store just because someone out there has been living their life trying to find these guys. They would be super cool with like large goldfish and things that can't eat them, but my money, like right up above, you got the Corydoras Catfish, right? These guys are $9. They look pretty darn cool in comparison. You know, I love stir-bys and pandas and these guys right here, actually. Not that they're in the same price, they go the same fish, but the candy stripe Pleco, that guy is awesome. $169.99.
How much did you pay for him, Cory?
Did I get 3? Yeah, I think I got 3 for $500. So, and these are locally bred by Dean. So I eventually got mine to Dean. I actually need to get some of these back in my fish room because I love this fish, but I really wanted to see him breed, and when I was moving, I didn't want a chance losing him. So now, you know, he's got quite a little herd of them going. Dean's got a pretty sweet deal. I spend $500 on fish, then I give them to him, he breeds them, and then I buy them from him. And then eventually I'll come in and be like, hey, I want some of these. And he just has to give me some because I gave him some originally. So, okay, here's a great Corydora that I would buy 100 times over. Let me just, yeah. So, these guys right here, Corydoras barbatus. I have these in my fish room, love this fish. They're at $19.99, cool water. They get fairly big, they get super gold, which is cool. You get 2 of these for every one of those. I personally would pick these. That's what I love about the hobby is everyone can pick what they want. Some people are gonna go, I don't like these. You probably just haven't seen these growing up. So there's so many cool fish, and I love shopping even my own fish store because there's always like, you know, I get to come in there and like, who let peacock gudgeons in this building? How dare they? They are locally bred though, which is a step cooler. I do like that. And they're with a boisterous fish. So the Silvertip Tetras, we've had this tank here if you've been watching us for years. We've always had this tank here. And when you have a ton of them, they'll chase your hand. And that's what makes them super cool. They will do that in your tank back and forth. You got to buy like 50 of them though. So you're into it for like 150 bucks. But to have kids and visitors be able to do that, you turned your aquarium into an experience now. And I just really value that. So I haven't done it in a while, but I did used to have them actually. Let me get Jimmy. No. I used to have them in the tank up here that actually exploded way back in the day. Big school of them. I'll touch on this quickly. This is our Betta system, and I'm going to do a full video on this someday. I just haven't done it yet. We're actually, maybe I'll save it for when the expansion comes, because we're actually upgrading this again. But so we have all these Bettas. They have sump systems with UV and all of that, and every tank's got a little bit of plant in there, and you know, there's just Bettas everywhere, right? What's cool, or what I think is cool about this system is we had basically 400 custom acrylic tanks made. So the tanks used to be this big, and it just wasn't quite enough to really do what we wanted to do, and so we paid to have 400 tanks custom made. I want to say when we did the math, they were 4 times as big by the time we were done with it. We put salt in there a little bit, not too much because there's plants, and we just change water and take care of them and feed them and live brine shrimp and all of these things. And it also helps if you have a cool sign right above them. What is this fish? I don't know this fish.
Splash Tetra?
Is it the crimson loach? What is this thing?
Oh, crimson.
No, 4-spot splash tetra, I bet, is what this thing is. I don't think we've ever kept that fish. See, this happens in my store all the time. We were enamored by all the candy stripe plecos, and there's a fish I didn't even know that was in here. That's why people end up spending hours here. And when did you have that? We've had that for 3 months. I never saw it. Like, yep, you were looking at something else. I do the same thing. So let me roll into here. Lots of plants. We store plants off-site too, so it's not like this is the only plants we have. This is what it looks like after a day of selling, and you know, people have picked the best ones every day, and that continually happens. And even I'm going to take some plants home today because I'm putting a tank together. There's also, if you shop online from us, if plants are too small, we'll actually send them to the store and we put them here. It's like, hey, it's $5. You can grab and growl out of these, and they're like this val right here. Skimpy, healthy plant, but skimpy, right? We want to make sure you're getting something like, you know, like this big. That's jungle val, but we must have normal val. Yeah, normal val's right here. You can see it's purling. It's, you know, much bigger than that, and that's going to run you $8.99 versus $5. Plus, it's buy two get one free out of there. And so we do pre-sorting before we ship out to try and make sure everyone's getting what we try to sell them. All right, then we've got kind of the last addition we did to the store, and kind of one of the most fun walls with a lot of hidey holes in it. So, you know, yeah, there's tetras and stuff up top, but then you'll find like, wait, is that an elephant nose? That, Jimmy, you should get B-roll of this, because every time I do anything with a ghost or with an elephant nose, you go, we don't have B-roll, we don't have one of those. So we've got stuff like that, and we've got, you know, bichers and Larici, gold dust bicher here. So we got some of the oddball, rarer type stuff up here. It's not that rare. But then through here, we kind of have shrimp mania and nano fish. So we've got lots of stuff going on. Norman lamp Achilles, we've got spotted danios, exclamation points, and then we've got our red shrimps. And in my opinion, this should be the base standard for cherry shrimp. If your store or whoever you're buying from doesn't send you this, like we buy these from Aquahuna, if you're not getting this red or more, I feel sorry for you because you got to work to breed them. We have a fish that I haven't seen before, and that's a Galaxy Autosynclus. That thing is pretty sweet, I'm not going to lie. That thing, it's kind of like a little, like, snowball pleco.
Yeah.
How much are those things though? $30? That's not so bad. I could see that. Got orange sakura shrimp over here. We pair them with some scarlet batis. And then, this is a fish that hasn't gone up much. I've been spending like $6.99 to $9.99 for clown killies forever. These guys are totally worth it. The little rocket ships. I've got these in my fish room right now. Bargain. Get them before people realize the price should go up, because these things are amazing. In my opinion, they're one of the best nano fish for sure. They're actually, so I'm putting together a nano tank, and they're a contender. I might do longfin gold white clouds, but they're a contender also. I love breeding them. Ooh, do we actually have toothpick fish? That's a fish that's like really hard to find.
Right there.
Oh yeah, right there.
If you can get him.
Oh, this will get him.
There you go.
That little guy right there, they're an ambush predator, and they definitely need you know, live baby brine and stuff like that. They tend to be safe with shrimp because you can see the shrimp are kind of bigger than they are. They don't get that big. But we've got them with some nice fat and sassy celestial pearl danios, and we've got them with the red neon rainbows as well. So then you go down below and you have mystery snails, aplenty, lots of frogs. You've got longfin white clouds, and then there's some baby, yeah, right there, like baby blonde. Where'd it go? Yeah, right there. Baby blonde leucistic frogs. These guys are flaring. That's what I love about white clouds, especially longfin. Wow. They look amazing when they do that. Oh, female bettas. There was one in here that I swore looked like a male because he was so cool. Where'd you go? Oh, this one right back here. That candy cane, I think is what they call it. Looking great. I'm against female tanks because they tend to be a death tornado, but boy do they look cool. I do like them. All right, so now let's go outside and we'll take a look at some of the expansion. All right, so now we're outside. This is where it all started, spot number 1. Then actually we got one way down at the corner underneath some stairs for storage. We still have that. Then we got this one, which was for plant quarantine and employee break room, and basically it was just next to us and we wanted to take it. And then also we have tanks for sale that we can grab out of here for people. But now, if we walk over here, 8 years later, we got this space. And as you can see, it's not close yet, but this is going to be the new Betta wall right through here. And it's going to be built up so it sits up higher. We're going to make it so it auto water changes, which will be nice. We're putting in a sump over here so that we can do that auto water change. Custom electrical work pretty much everywhere. And right back here, there's a giant space. That's where the new Murphy tank is going, the 1,450 gallon. And then we got word that another space opened. So we actually had this all built over here and tore it out. So now we're getting 2 extra stalls. So the store is going to be 3 times as large as it was. So all of these walls in between had to come down. Jimmy came down and filmed that. The flooring's coming up so we can have one flooring all the way through. And then right there, there's a door. So this wall can't come down because it's cinder block and a supporting wall, but there's a door there. That door was going to open up to this magical place and make us twice as big. Now we're 3 times as big. This used to be a gym studio. You can see us filming right here. Lots of mirrors have to come down and lots of work. There's a little office back here, but we're going to put in more checkout stations. We're going to put in more ponds for fish. We're going to put in lots, right? That's the goal is, wow, we can do so much more with 3,000 square feet than 1,000 square feet. What really hurts is this was literally brand new. We already tore this wall out once and fixed it, and then got word that we can get bigger, and so we tore it down again. And that's what hurts is like probably $1,000 in materials, probably, you know, another $1,000 or more in work, and then you pay to take it to the dump and you salvage what you can. But you know, like there's a bunch of these, right? A lot of these are salvaged from the way they were used. And as you guys and girls know, cost has gone through the roof on everything. You know, we've just got COVID on the back of, you know, now it's kind of wartime. And so 2x4s, when I first built the store, were $2.20. Now they're encroaching $8. You know, I'm hoping by kind of September, this will be open and fully populated with tons of fish, and there's a, you know, room to sit down, because we're also revamping the store that's over there. So once this is kind of up and going, we need to fix some things over there, redo carpet, you know, just stuff that's been maintenance for 8 years. I think it'll be more of a destination. People already travel in, they go, wow, the store's smaller than I thought. We've always been a small store, and this isn't huge. There's many stores way bigger than us, but what we can do in just 1,000 square feet, I can imagine we'll be able to pull off in, you know, 3,000. So, all right, cue the wall coming down. All right, post-video processing, Cory here. You've seen the store tour, and what I think people are missing out on the most is how this store came to be. We've been on YouTube for so many years now, and we started with the store, and a lot of people think that came afterwards. You guys should really check out the video right here that is the truth behind opening up a fish store and how catastrophic it was and nerve-wracking, and you know, how much money did I make, and all of these things over the years. We did that presentation for a club many years ago. And honestly, I think it would resonate with a lot of you guys that have been watching me. And then if you ever thought about opening a fish store, it's going to open a lot of eyes. Check out that right there. It's over an hour long, but just let it play in the background and watch it and enjoy. And you'll know a whole lot more about the retail store.